Hey Bayek, it's me Ian, and in today's video, well, I'm continuing my look at classic Doctor Who, the third and the fourth Doctors, the golden age of Doctor Who. These were the great stories that made it such a massive success, and this is the Ribos operation from 1978. It's the 16th season, and this is the first story from that. And previously we had the Invasion of Time, which is where Leela sadly left. I think that was such a sad story with Leela leaving as she did. And then the next one is going to be The Pirate Planet, which is a very interesting story as well. Now this whole series of episodes is under the umbrella of The Key to Time. That is the series' sort of theme running through it, which is an interesting concept for Doctor Who. Does it work? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Because let's look. Doctor Who now, the fourth Doctor, is really just at the height, really. He's so popular. He's become an icon, Tom Baker. He's very much in gear with this series. He can't do no wrong. Or can he? Yes. Now, this was transmitted from the 2nd to the 23rd of September 1978. Now, it's written by Robert Holmes. Yes, Robert Holmes. Always so reliable, perhaps the greatest Doctor Who script writer. Is this one of his best ones? Oh, isn't it? Well, I may answer that question. You will see. Now, we now have script editor Anthony Reid, and it's produced by Graham Williams. And of course, the director on this is George Spenton Foster, who only directed Image of the Fendal in 1977. The rest is sort of a lot of TV series and episodes. So that's his career. Now, I think it's important that Graham Williams is very much now putting his stamp on this series. And this, in fact, was one of his ideas that he wanted from this series. And don't forget, in the background, we have got a BBC policy now that wants the Doctor Who to not have this sort of violent, what it considers violent storylines. Everything has been toned down. I think that's important. Also, the mythology of the series has now changed, and the influences. Before, we had a lot of horror influences. Now it's more sort of magical kind of influences, I think. The mythology kind of fairy tales or Greek tales or all these kind of mythological tales are all involved, as we've already seen that developed. And Graham Williams is continuing that development. And with that, we're getting a big shift to humor. Now, humor is something which is great and to have in any series, but if it's not controlled, then it can get out of hand. And that is an important part of this era when we look back at it. So I just thought I'd put that in as we see it develop. Um, so this also I'd just like to point out as well this storyline. The music is by Dudley Simpson, as you well. He's often involved in the music, isn't he? But it stands out quite a lot. There was some particularly great sequences where he is written in here, which are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. You really notice sometimes with the music, I tend to find it's probably just me. The music is there, it's there in the background. It doesn't really capture my ears. I'm so engrossed in it. It has a certain style. But there are moments when it really just stands out. It really hits you and thinks, oh, yeah, this is interesting. And I like that. I really did. Now, this is a studio-based story. Now, one thing you're going to notice a lot in this season, and the directors and production staff talk about it, is budget. It's very strict. You haven't to go over budget. You have certain resources you have to make use of. So directors have to be more creative in the sets, redressing the sets. You can't bring loads of designs in, new sets. You have to basically just make use of the sets you've got and just try and do from that and be as creative as possible how you do that, in which they have to do it. And with special effects as well, increasingly, they're going to use their own sort of special effects, which are sort of early kind of CGI, because it's cheaper than often some of the practical ones, which we wish they had. And we, of course, see a bit of the original practical side with the monster, which the camera knows that, and it doesn't linger too long on this monster. It tries to be as creative. You must compliment the director for that, because this is what he's been given. He probably was quite shocked at how much that has happened. Okay, so let's get into the cast. Tom Baker, here he is, playing the Fourth Doctor. And then we've got John Leeson as the voice of K9. Now we have got a new companion. Mary Tam plays Romana, though her name, I'm not going to pronounce it, is much longer than that. And she's a young Time Lord. Yes, well, a young graduate from the academy. And she's very, very smart. She's kind of an equal to the Doctor. And that is the idea, the dynamics in this. And the actress, Mary Tam, felt quite strongly about this. Though I think one of the reasons she did leave is that she still felt that the Doctor was still Addie's assistant, who was, despite her being the Time Lord, was still the screaming, helpless woman. But I don't feel that, but she did. I don't feel she wanted the role. She saw it more defined and better, and it disappointed her, which is strange. Well, not strange. I think it's understandable. She was committed. That's what she wanted from the role and how she saw it. Now, Mary Tam, she was in Tales That Witness Madness, which we have reviewed before. That was 1973. She was also in The Odessa File, 1974. and the television version of big screen of The Likely Lads, 1976. And from this role, she appeared in a lot of TV series on both channels. And sadly, she died in 2012, having come back in many ways to the Doctor Who family, doing conventions and also doing audios on Big Finish. So I think it's sad. She died. She was, I think, 62 as well. Very sad, but she came back to Doctor Who, I think, which is good. So let's get into the other members of the cast. We have got Cyril Luckman, who plays the Guardian. He's the White Guardian. Now, he is the films that stand out for him are absolute classics. A Man for All Seasons, 1966. I love that film. I've got that. I've reviewed it. Also, Anne of the Thousand Days, 1969, with Richard Burton. He's in that. What brilliant films! And then just more TV career and series and films. Then we've got another interesting character. Is Ian Cuthbertson. Ian Cuthbertson plays Garon. He was in The Railway Children, 1970. What a film. He was in Up the Chastity Belt, 1972. Gorillas in the Mist, 1988. Scandal, 1989. And Let Him Have It, 1991, which is Christopher Eccleston film, and absolutely brilliant. And we've got, of course, a Doctor Who link there, so that's great. And he just appeared in so many great TV series as well. Just a wonderful history. Then we've got Nigel Plaskett, who plays Unstoff. He was an actor and puppeteer, producer and stage and television director. The Pipkins between 1973 and 1981, he was involved in that. See, the puppeteer side. Also, The Muppet Christmas Carol, 1992. Muppet Treasure Island, 1996. And then we've got Paul Seed, who plays Graf Vanda Kay, BBC TV director, a whole range of series. And then he worked for ITV as well, all in television. Brilliant. Then we've got Robert Keegan, who plays Solaka. Notable films, Straw Dogs, and then lots of TV roles. Straw Dogs, 1971, absolute classic film, I love it. Prentice Hancock, a name that we do come across before. He plays the Shriver captain. He was in Spearhead from Space, 1970, the Third Doctor's opening story. Is in Planet of the Daleks, 1973, another Third Doctor story. It was also in Planet of the Evil, which is a Fourth Doctor story, 1975. And interesting, two films he was in. He was in 39 Steps, 1978. One absolute classic film that is. That's the Robert Powell remake. That is the most notable film, I think, that does stand out. Let's say a lot of TV kind of things. So you're saying to yourself, what is this about? Well, because it's linking it all together, we get the introduction of the White Guardian, who sends the Doctor and his new companion, of course, Romana, to find the 6 segments of the key to time and bring them all together. And this first segment takes them to Ribos, where it's in the rare element of Jethric. And Ribos is an interesting planet. It's really like a version of Imperial Russia. You know, you can see everything about it. These primitive, superstitious people, and then those above, that kind of society. It's very harsh. It's cold, and you've got all the costumes, which are all sort of furs and all that kind of stuff to keep them warm. Um, it's it's a great setting, and then you get these characters that are coming in that are after the Jethric, which happens to be a very valuable, rare substance, and this sort of warlord, not very nice character comes in and thinks it's his. He's going to demand it and get it, and and then of course we've got the wonderful Ian Cuthbertson playing Garan, who's a bit of a con artist, but he's a good rogue. He's one of those what we call lovable rogues, and he's great in the role. What can I say? I just think this works well. I think I mentioned that it's a Robert Holmes story. Would we put it as the best of the Robert Holmes stories? I don't think we would quite. But yeah, it's a good, well constructed because of the costumes, the sets. The sets look great. Especially as I've told you about the budget involved issues. This is a fantastic story. It really is in that context. But I say, and I'm watching very carefully, the humour. The humour is very much now getting stronger. And this is a theme that we're going to see develop throughout the series. And I think now it's at a level that is fine, and it's not out of control at all. Because we get the over the actors love this kind of stuff as well, where they can go really over the top, very be theatrical. That's why they're all queuing up to get on, because they can just have fun doing these over the top performances. But yeah, I think it's a great addition to the Doctor Who classic stories. Yes, I love it. And you can't help but love Tom Baker. So this was issued on VHS in 1995, DVD 2007, and there is no Blu-ray copy yet. The series hasn't been issued on Blu-ray, so we've got this, which you've seen, and there's the back. There's some nice extras, very nice, great documentary on here, and then we've got the disc. And we got the usual nice little leaflet giving you a bit more information about the story and that. This is excellent. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended. So, hope you've enjoyed that. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and let you know when I put out these videos. And if you like this video, please give it a like. It gets it onto YouTube and hopefully algorithms and all that stuff. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments, and I'll always reply to them. And that's it. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.